Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad that you could join me again. It's Monday, November 3rd, and I think we are going to have both a productive and a peaceful day today. I need to continue the garden cleanup, and I need to mulch the garlic bed. I want to practice piano. And since a couple of friends invited me to dinner tomorrow night, and I volunteered to make the first course, we are going to do potato leek soup. So grab a cup of coffee or something stronger, and please spend the day with me. And the first thing I need to do is peel some potatoes for the soup. These are boiling potatoes. Now the recipe I use is on my website, and I will post that in the description box below. And in order to see the full description, you simply click on the title of the video. Peeling potatoes is not my favorite thing in the world, but eating potatoes is. Put the potatoes over here for now. And then I need to clean up some leeks. I'm going to use the white and the tender green. To clean leeks, I first make an X at the top, and then I fan out the leaves as I run water over them. I need to roughly chop the leeks. I was going to put the leeks directly in my soup pot, but then I remembered I need to first melt butter in that pot. Well, my cup definitely hath runneth over. So I just need to make room here to roughly chop the potatoes. I need to put some butter in my pot and melt it on the stovetop. In go the leeks. Now I need salt and pepper. Toss. This is a lot of leeks, but I am making a lot of soup. Now we can cover the pot, lower the heat, and let the leeks cook until they soften. That will take about 10 minutes. The leeks are perfectly tender now, and they smell just wonderful. So we can add the potatoes and water. This is a French recipe, and it does not call for chicken stock, just water. And I will raise the heat, bring the liquid to a boil, and then cover the pot and let the potatoes cook until they are tender. While we wait for the soup to finish cooking, I wanted to try out these large capacity cord organizers. They are intended for kitchen appliances. Now you can see that I typically just wind my KitchenAid cord around the machine, but that's not really practical. And I saw someone use these things on YouTube, so I thought I should give it a go. And first we need to clean the surface really well. I'm using some alcohol here. Do I want to put it on this side or the other side? And you peel off this paper and you push and hold it for 5 seconds. Then you wrap the cord around it, I think, like this. Now there is a little piece up here in which you can tuck the end of the cord into. I'll be darned, it works. And that's much tidier than having the cord just hang or wrapping the cord around the appliance. So we can put you back. And we can do the same job for my little 30-year-old handheld beaters. Where will this fit? So there's white and black. I think this will work right here. Here we go. Well, this seems to work a charm. I can link these cord organizers in the description below if you are interested. Now, the only problem I can think of with those cord organizers is when you go to wash the appliance, maybe that organizer is in the way. I'm not sure. I'm going to put these tools away, and then I think our soup is ready. Well, the soup is definitely done, and I've let it cool for a bit. So now we can puree it. I will have to puree this in batches. There is a lot of soup, and I may need to add more water, and that's fine. This soup is super flavorful, even with water. Also, I need to wash out my pot, so let's see if I can transfer this to something else. I have a bowl over here. Wash. Actually, all I had to do was rinse the pot. And I do that because I don't want any stuck on bits in the pot. Oh, this is a beautiful leek and potato puree. Just for an experiment, I want to add a tiny amount of green vegetable food coloring so that this soup has a green hint instead of being boring beige. Now, I do want to have a little taste just to determine whether or not this soup needs additional salt. It's perfect. I'm going to set this aside and let it cool to room temperature, and then I will refrigerate it. And we can actually enjoy a bowl of this soup for an early dinner tonight. I think we can serve it with some of the French sandwich bread that you and I made together several weeks ago and that we froze. I'm going to get cleaned up here, and then I need to go buy some mulch for the garlic bed. You never know what you will find at a local, independently owned garden center. Besides 2 large bags of mulch, I also found an adorable puppy dog in a playpen. The puppy's name is Bella. She belongs to an employee at the garden center. The garlic that you and I planted together 2 weeks ago is already beginning to sprout. A layer of mulch will protect the bulbs over winter. My garlic is mulched. Glad to have that job done. And I really need to do garden cleanup in the lower garden, so we're going to do that next. And I wanted to show you this collapsible garden tote that one of you recommended to me, but I think we will unbox it outdoors. Also, it feels really warm outside because I'm doing all of this work, but it's actually pretty chilly. I'm going to take off my jacket and put on my apron. So the last time we did some garden cleanup, you and I ran to the local hardware store and bought a big laundry basket to carry the spent plants that I wanted to put in the compost. And then one of you told me about this, I think it's Fisker's collapsible garden tote. And I immediately ordered it. Yes, Fisker's kangaroo pop-up bag. Let's open this. And apparently it has a really strong bottom, so you can drag it across a rough surface and it won't rip the bottom, or the bottom won't become ripped. You can hold this for a moment. Wonder if this is going to explode in my face. Pop goes the weasel. I love it. It's good size too. Let's start garden cleanup. I think this collapsible bin will be very useful when I go to carry all this refuse up to the compost pile. So these are spent zinnias. And I have a giant head of cabbage here. And I have some cabbage that I had harvested a couple of months ago, and of course it regrew. This poor cabbage was totally ignored because it was covered by all of my parsley. I'm not going to pull up the parsley because it can take many hard frosts, and it always springs back until real winter hits. So I'm going to enjoy fresh garlic until the parsley gives up. These are collard greens, and you and I enjoyed many collard greens over the summer, but I don't think I need to grow 1, 2, 3, 4, I think I have 5 plants. I think I only need 1 plant next year. This is a clump of chive over here, which we can cut all the way to the ground, and it will come right back next spring. We use these chives to make chive pesto, which is one of my absolute favorite things. And here I have some romaine lettuce growing, but that will be fine because romaine can take several frosts. No need to pull it up now. I can continue to harvest and enjoy it. I think I saw that snow is predicted for next Tuesday. That's a week from tomorrow. And I'm very excited about that. I like snow. I have several lavender plants that you and I grew together from seed, and I'm just going to cut them back. They will return next spring. Oh, they still smell just glorious. And there's more lavender over here. I'm not going to dry this lavender because I already have a ton of dried lavender in my pantry. Well, that looks neater already. And let's see what we have over here. Last spring, you and I went to a garden center and bought celery seedlings, or at least they were marked celery. It's actually celeriac. I've never grown it before, so let's see what it looks like. Well, it looks like a UFO. I think in the next episode, we can make a celeriac gratin, or a gratin of celeriac. This is the biggest one from the bunch. Yeah, I will put these aside to clean up later, and I think it will be great fun to cook with celeriac. Now, I still have several carrots in this bed after we did a huge carrot harvest. And I'm not going to harvest them today, but I will need to harvest them before the ground freezes solidly. I'm just trying to make things look tidy today. And I see an adorable little, these called Johnny Jump Ups. It's very sweet. Guess what I just found? More celeriac. This is heavy. Now, I do need to cut up a lot of this stuff so it will compost faster, but that is for another day. And look at the bottom of this bin. I just dragged it up the hill and it still looks new. Well, I think that's enough garden activity for now. Let's head back indoors. I won't pretend that all of that gardening work was not exhausting. Right now, I feel like I either need a nap or a nip. But I can't have either because we need to go to the front porch and remove the decorations. So this is the winter squash that we used for autumn decoration. And I had planned to eat some of the squash, but I think it's all pretty much past its prime now. So I'm going to let the squash be food for the wildlife. There's always a job to do at this old house. One of you told me about a cordless leaf blower. I really have to investigate that. It sounds like an item I would love to have. I'm going to get cleaned up, change my clothes, brew some tea, and then I really need to go practice piano. Today, I'm working through Bach's Italian Concerto at a very slow tempo. I will also review my memory of the Scarlatti Sonata in E major. Well, that was a nice practice session. I still have a lot of work to do at the piano. But I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to have an early dinner. I'm going to have some of the French sandwich bread that you and I made together, along with some leek and potato soup. I'm going to toast the bread in my little toaster oven. While the soup is warming and the bread is toasting, we can clip some parsley from the garden. Parsley is a lovely garnish for leek soup. I'm hungry. I'm in the music room because right after dinner, I'm going back to the piano. This soup is absolutely gorgeous and delicious. Has a very earthy taste. Leeks are a member of the onion family, but they truly have their own unique taste. French sandwich bread, or pain de mie. I think French sandwich bread is my favorite bread of all. This is a perfect little meal of soup and bread. I could not be happier. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I think we had a very productive and a very peaceful day, even though some of the work was downright exhausting. I'm considering setting up a second compost pile that is nearer to the lower garden. It is a lot of work to go all the way up that hill in order to put compost in the compost pile. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now, friends.